Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, EQA Nostalgia here, and welcome to my guide for Rose, one of the new plant heroes in Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Rose is the very definition of a crowd control character. She is really good at holding back the enemy, keeping them in place. She can turn them into a goat, she can slow down time around them, so she's the ultimate troll in a sense. Now, before I get into abilities, I just want to talk a little bit about her health and her Magic Thistle's standard attack. Her health is kind of on the low side. It's not really too bad, but she is a little squishy. You don't really want to get into the front lines with Rose. And her Magic Thistle ability has kind of like a soft lock-on. It's like a homing missile, but not as extreme. It was buffed actually from the beta where it wasn't as sticky as it is now. It didn't home in as well, and it did less damage. So she's doing about 10 damage per shot. So she can absolutely destroy the competition at medium to even longer ranges. You're gonna tend to want to stay back with her because it's just, if a Super Brains comes up to you, you're probably gonna find yourself in a little bit of trouble unless you can go-defy him, because he has more health than you and he's just gonna pound the crap out of you. So you're gonna want to stay away from Super Brains. I would say he's probably one of the most dangerous zombies to a Rose character. Now, in terms of who she absolutely destroys, I would have to give that award to the Imp, because she just crushes the Imp, man. Now, the thing about the Imp is he's kind of hard to hit. He's a little bit harder to hit than the other characters because of his small hitbox. But with her homing thistle, she locks right in. 5 shots and the Imp is down. Now, her time snare is a really good crowd controlling device. I'd have to say it's probably the best one. I know a lot of people like the go-defy ability, but with time snare, it slows everybody down. All of the enemies go significantly slower, so it kind of just binds them a little bit so that it gives you more time to pick them off. This ability works good in multiplayer, but it works really, really good in garden ops when you've got a lot of the NPC zombies pouring in. You can slow down a bunch of them and just wipe them out in a couple of seconds. Now, her go-defy ability it's funny because you get to turn the enemy into a goat, but you do have to be careful because even as a goat, the enemy does have abilities, and that's something that you shouldn't forget, because they can charge into you, and if you've only got a little bit of health left over, they can take you out, and it's so embarrassing, guys, when you're playing as Rose and your goat kills you. It's just something that you're going to want to avoid, but I would suggest using it on Super Brains or the All-Star if you can help it, because that is going to help control them. They have an insane amount of health. They are the most tanky zombies on the zombie side, so I tend to reserve using it for them. If you get into a sticky situation, though, it works pretty much on anyone. It also works as a good escape mechanism, and that's something I should mention about Rose. She has very good escape capabilities with her time snare, her arcane enigma, and her go-defy ability. It's pretty easy for her to get out of danger if you're being careful about it. Now, you can use Arcane Enigma in a passive or defensive way to get away from enemies, but you could also use it to dish out an AoE. Now, you'll notice while in Arcane Enigma you have a power bar that whittles down. She has just enough power in that to kick off 3 AoEs, which is usually good enough to take out at least an Imp. It's really good to use if you are in gardens and graveyards, or herbal assault rather, and you're up on the front lines and you're trying to push through and clear all the zombies out of their tombstone area. So she's really good at that. It also works very well with single player and cooperative game modes. Now, one more thing to note about Rose is that she has a pretty decent jump that has some serious hang time on it, especially if you're playing in a low gravity map, so you can jump and get to a good vantage point and absolutely bombard the enemy with those magic thistles. She's also surprisingly good at being a sniper. If you can get her up onto a perch, you can hit enemies from a pretty good, decent range, and you can also just pop out, lock on a little bit with the soft lock, get a few hits in there, go back to cover, pop out. So she's really good at harassing the enemy, and I can tell you right now, she is a frustration of many zombie players. So there you have it, guys. There's my guide for Rose. Now, just in closing, I'll say I personally prefer to play her as a more defensive style character. You can get in there and you certainly can get aggressive with her because you can slip in and out of a situation pretty easily with her crowd control. But for the most part, I like to stay behind people and just let her pick off. She seems to be really good at picking off that last strike with that homing thistles. So guys, make sure you let me know what you think about Rose down in the comment section below. Do you think she's OP? Do you think she's going to catch a nerf? I personally think she might catch a nerf because she was buffed after the beta, but she seems to be very good for people who are new to the series or maybe new to shooters. I should also mention that I will have more guides up for each and every one of the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 characters, so if that's the thing you're interested in, you might want to hit that subscribe button, guys. If you like this video, please take a moment to leave a like. I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video.